Hi everyone, welcome to Maximum Attack Rallying. Following on from the Porsche Boxster video, more non-rally content because we are at the Nurburg Ring. You can see Devil's Diner in the background, the main straight of the Nordschleife behind me. Why are we at the Nurburg Ring? So I'm doing a Rust Box Rally, it's called. So a fun, cheap car drive across Europe. We're heading from, we headed from the UK through France and Belgium, and we're going to Lake Como, but one of our stops is the Nurburg Ring, which is here. Here, we are at Nurburgring, just for a little short time for Touristfahrten evening session, so the track is just open for a couple of hours. Lots and lots of cars on track, which I'll try and get some footage of. So I'm not covering the entire trip, but I thought I would just cover little bits and pieces that are of interest. And this is of interest, isn't it? Lots and lots of cool cars. So just to give you a quick overview, we went from Brands Hatch, we started yesterday, ended up in Bruges last night, and today drove here to the Nurburgring. And then tomorrow we're on to the Austrian border and then on to Italy. So I probably won't film too much of that, but on the way back we're stopping at Reims and I will film that. So that is a bit of a background on what we're doing, but let's not talk anymore about what I'm doing. Let's have a walk around the car park and look at some cars before the sun goes down. So the car park always throws up some gems, and this, I'm going to murder this. This is the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra, which is apparently the fastest mass-produced four-door EV sedan with over 1,500 horsepower, which is a very, very specific record indeed. BTG of 7 minutes 9.8 seconds. Chinese flags on the side of it. Carbon ceramic brakes, which you can't see because of my shadow. Really interesting car to see. Obviously it's on Chinese number plates. It's like carbon ceramic brakes, which you can hopefully see better this time. And inside, it's just a car. It's weird, isn't it? Big wing, carbon wing. So there you go, never thought I'd see one of those. Fast. I don't know, tell me what you think in the comments. Do you get excited about EVs? I suspect probably not. Okay, typical lineup. BMW 3 Series, Golf R, E92 M3. Is it an E90 or an E92? I don't know. I can never remember what the number means in terms of whether it's a coupe or not. I was talking about these earlier to my friends, and I said, what percentage of these M3s of this generation have been converted into Nurburgring track tools? It must be high. This one has a carbon fibre E-Venturi intake and is in very typical ring tool spec, Recaro pole positions, big wing, splitter, different wheels, bigger brakes, etc, etc. A French M135i or M140i, GR Yaris. Last time I came to the Nurburgring, that car didn't exist, I don't think. Nissan 350Z, look. Someone wanting to be James Bond in an Aston Martin. And then one of 10 million Porsches. Cayman GT4, which I think is probably my favourite Porsche right now. These guys are on another rally, nothing to do with us, but fair play for that. Alpine A110, look. BMW M1M, isn't it, that one? Golf rental car. A GT3. Another GT3. M4. Cayman. Another 1M. This place is absolutely wild, isn't it? Look at this, track prepped. Apologies for the sun, track prepped E36. M3. track prep D46 M3. New M3 competition, another E36 M3. Absolutely wild. I'm just going to scoot across here, let these BMWs come through, because I want to look at this GT3 992 RS. Look at the wheels. Look at the aero covers on the wheels. Front and rear SSR RS. And then next to it, for contrast, look, an Abarth 500 from Spain, all the way from Spain, which has carbon fibre, wide arches, and an enormous wing of its own. This place is so eclectic. Super, super eclectic. So coming into the shadow, which is good. Another M4, another banger rally car. Look at this. This is lovely as well. 944 on. Lovely, lovely split rims from Switzerland. Oh my goodness. This is turning into a bit of a walk around of the car park, so I do not apologise for that. That is absolutely lovely. The sun is potentially, oh no, the sun's behind the building. That is gorgeous, look at that. And spinning around, 718 GT4 RS. Oh my goodness. There is just lovely, lovely cars everywhere. Look at that. You know, you know you're in a special place when somebody has an Audi R8 as a track car. And not only is it an Audi R8, it has a twin turbo conversion, just because. That is absolutely wild. This might be the first one of these that I've seen. An Abarth 600E, maybe? I don't actually know its full name. Is there a badge on the back? There is not. It is the electric Abarth, however, the replacement for the petrol one that was manufactured for approximately 300 years. Again, I suspect you're not going to like this, because electric cars tend to get lots of bad feedback on my channel, but it's interesting. The reason it's interesting to me is because I think this will form the basis of the new Peugeot 208 GTI, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do with that, but I'm not going to talk about that anymore because I know you'll hate it. It's an MX-5 there from Switzerland, a Porsche of some kind. Then we have a GT3 RS with Manti wheels. Very nice indeed. An SSR CS Cayman. Man, there's lots of nice cars. Look, another 1M. More BMWs, look. E36. Another 1M. This one I want to talk to you about. We saw this on the road earlier. An aerial Nomad. I'm just going to run across to this. So we were pulled over earlier on, and he stopped near us. This is an aerial Nomad, which is cool. What makes it cooler is that it has a turbo. This is apparently the only aerial Nomad to have been turbocharged. So the intercooler is up here, look. There is a storage box up here, which is pretty cool. So yeah, apparently that is the only turbocharged aerial Nomad in the world. Around 400 horsepower. I think he said it was about 700 kilos. So I think that's probably pretty potent, isn't it? And there, perfect timing, is our rust box car coming back with a Dallara behind it, just as a bit of contrast. But I think that is enough walking around the car park. Let's see if we can get to the circuit somewhere and watch some cars going round. So we are now 2 days later. I didn't film anything else since the Nurburg Ring because I was on holiday. I'm in a slightly noisy spot now, but if you're a car enthusiast, you might recognise it. It is the remains of the Reims circuit in northern France. I should have done some research before I recorded this video, but we just thought we'd stop here on the way back to Calais. It's been on the list for a while. We always say that we're going to do it when we go to the Nurburg Ring, but we didn't. But we did it this time. And it's so interesting. Also amusing. So we've stopped back there with our 2 crappy cars. And in the 5 minutes we've been here, there's another crappy British car doing a charity rally has stopped here. And there was a Honda NSX here when we got here. That's one of the cars leaving, the horn beeping. So, yeah, absolutely. Magnetic spot for British tourists by the looks of it, but it's just such an interesting place. So you've got tower behind us there, look, all of the old sponsor logos, grandstands here. So as I understand it, the old Reims circuit went that way into Reims itself and then came back out again as another British car pulls up. So it's quite noisy, obviously, by the side of the road. We're being a little bit careful because apparently you're not really supposed to stop here anymore, but that is unfortunately, I suspect, because British people come here and drive like idiots and race each other up and down this road, which is a real shame that they have to try and spoil it for everyone. But so here we are in Reims, and I'm going to put in some B-roll now so you can have a look at some of the details rather than me talking nonsense. So we're now behind the control tower and things, because there is a way to go under the road so we can get into the grandstands. It's all in remarkably good condition, isn't it? Still didn't look at any history. Got a little tower there, look. Effectively a little park behind it. Old building over here. If you've got any interesting facts about the Reims circuit, do put them in the comments. I'd love to hear them, but we're going to jump down here, look, and use this tunnel to go underneath and into the grandstands. There we go, out of the tunnel. So while I was walking through the tunnel, I read that it was originally 7.8 kilometres long, opened in 1926, I think. What a lovely day, by the way. It's quite cold. It's colder than it looks on film. And closed in 1972. So just walking up to the back of the smaller grandstand. Maybe I should have gone in the bigger one over there. But I didn't. You can see the remains of BP logos on the back here. I love this. When I went to Barham Rally a couple of years ago, we passed an old circuit by the side of the main road, and it was similar to this, but obviously not in such good shape. So let's walk up here. You can hear a car in the background. It's my friend Will. Hello, Will.
Hello.
You're on vlog.
Oh, how very exciting.
I know. Will is responsible for the cars. There we go. Maserati. So now in the grandstand. It's very windy. So you can imagine in the late 1920s, 1930s, before things went horribly wrong for the 40s, you can imagine old racing cars screaming up and down this road on a 7.8 kilometre lap. It'd be interesting to see what other cars use this circuit, so maybe I'll have a look at that in a second. But you can see the pit garages over there, building in the background. Look, it's all remarkably well maintained. And there's our two banger rally cars down there, which have survived a trip all the way to Lake Como through the Alps, both doing reasonably well. A few wobbles and things, but not too bad. So there you go, I'm walking out of the grandstand. We have to get going and get a train. We've got a 2.5 hour drive to Calais. So if you want to come to the Reims circuit, it's about 2.5 hours from Calais. So you could easily do it in a day. And Reims itself is very nice. If you want tourist information, we went to the cathedral this morning. That was also very nice. So you could definitely do a long weekend, or a short weekend even, if you wanted to come here. Just looking through the drivers that have driven here. So it was used as the French Grand Prix in the 50s and 60s. So yeah, the names are incredible. Juan Manuel Fangio, Mike Hawthorne, Jack Brabham, you know, some really iconic names. So definitely a cool thing to kick off the bucket list. So I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed this mini tour of the Nurburg Ring and the Reims circuit. As I said, I didn't film the entire trip because it was a holiday with my friends, and this isn't a travel vlog. So I wanted to enjoy that, enjoy driving through the Alps. I have put in a little bit of B-roll earlier on, obviously, as we walk through the tunnel under the road. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the trip, and I suppose in the next video we will be talking about the ERC finale in Croatia. So do join me for that on Monday. Otherwise, make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. Follow me on socials as I echo through this tunnel, and I will see you again in the next one.